Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 72. There was a new alpha build this week and lots of new merchandising news, so we have quite a bit to talk about. But before we do, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead Site Manager, Perculia.
Hey everyone, we have BB-8 Pepe again, and we have another new alpha build as usual, and we have really interesting information on new Funko Pops and other cool merchandise. So yeah, let's get into the alpha build as usual as the very first thing.
Yes, I was pretty excited about the new alpha build because it brought a couple new playable specs. Did we talk about Feral Druids last week? Did that happen before last week's
I
Wowhead
think we were
Weekly?
talking about the kitty animations, and we had a video on the kitty
Yep, you're
animations and
right.
how that was also like they updated the cat form, so just everything about them looked different.
Yeah, so
So
as of right now, I believe there's only two
yeah,
class spec
Brewmaster
combinations
and Destro Locks, I
and
think.
Destro locks. But the new specs that
Yep.
were playable in this build were Frost Mages and Assassination Rogues. They
Yep.
also opened Heroic Dungeons and Arena Skirmishes. Now, I'm not sure. I think we talked about the PvP realm last week, too.
Yeah, that came up last week.
Yep.
So
So,
you
not
can get like the
too
PvP
much.
gear. But yeah, now Ashamane's Fall, it's a new area you can skirmish in, and it's like an area of Val'sharah. It's very pretty. It's like very not evil PvP looking.
Yeah, we also got a new look at the Legion world map, which is as such. And I'm on board with a bunch of people that are saying, like, how would we have not seen the Broken Isles all
I know.
this time? Like,
Like
it's
Eastern Kingdoms is like bye. I'm
it's
just
like
going
getting
off to
pushed
the
over
side.
further and further. The Maelstrom got moved a little, but it's a fantasy game. You just have to use your imagination. But it's so funny because there's something in me that every time I see the Broken Isles is where I think the goblins come from. Like, I know that's not where they come from, but I'm like,
Right.
oh, that's where goblins come from. But I guess it makes sense on if you were to look at where Dalaran was in Northrend and where Dalaran was in Eastern Kingdoms. I could see how it could end up at the Broken Isles. It
That just reminded me.
kind of
I
all
didn't
makes
realize
sense.
that at the time, but I'm not sure if people can see this. But it's a map of the back of Chronicles,
Oh, look at
and
that.
yeah, it's there. It's on the map.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even see that last week.
Yeah,
We
like the
showed
front.
that too, and no
I
one even pointed it out.
Yeah, I was all like, oh, the front cover has the map in the beginning, and the back cover is current day, and I'm just like, hey, I should just look at this book I've always been talking about.
Yeah, so then I can't even say, like, we would have noticed it. We didn't notice it. It was
Yeah.
right there, and we didn't notice it. So I guess I have to take it back. We
Yep.
also found out that the Lightning Warg model that we showed off last week is, in fact, Hati, which is part of the artifact for Beast Mastery Hunters.
Yep. And speaking about artifacts, if you read up on the spell data and changes, there's been a lot of artifact trait shuffling going on. And basically, what that means is that at the start of the alpha, a lot of artifacts had two abilities that you started with. One that was like a passive equip, and then another that was the first trait you got when you opened up the artifact UI.
Mm-hmm.
But Blizzard is just basically making one as your default trait, and then they're just like sticking the other one farther down in the tree. So there's a lot of shuffling going around. Like maybe the cool starter ability is now like one of the end cool traits, and the end
Mm-hmm.
cool trait is now in the middle. But yeah, I mean it's nothing. It's still very much in progress. But one cool thing is that we can actually see what some of the artifact traits look like because we have access to fully unlocked artifacts. We can see that like one artifact makes something look flashy, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep.
This was exciting too. On the new alpha build, there were some transmog updates, including a new achievement which gives you the fabulous title. My cat
Yeah.
is going ballistic. I'm sorry.
Cat
which
extra.
which gives you the fabulous title, and the criteria for that is unlocking 25 appearances for each slot. And I was thinking about this perk. Are bracers a slot? Because I
Let me
easily
pull
have
that up
25
right now.
of everything, except for probably bracers, because I never save bracers because they so rarely change how
One
my
minute.
looks.
I
Okay.
am pulling up
Do, do,
the actual
do, 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 do,
fabulous
do.
achievement.
Do, 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 do,
Okay.
do,
It's looking.
do, 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 do.
All right, there is yes, fashionista wrist is there.
All right, so then,
Also includes tabards and shirts.
wow. Oh, wow, that's a lot harder to get than I thought. 25 shirts is a lot.
Yeah.
25 tabards isn't that many, but 25 shirts is a lot. Okay, well, that's going to be more difficult to get than I thought, which is very upsetting because I was looking forward to being fabulous Panzershock.
Well, apparently I'm looking at Wowhead comments on Fashionista shirt, and people are saying that there are 103 shirts available.
Yeah,
So
but that's still a lot of shirts to have. Like,
you
I
could
bet
do
I
the
only
bulk
have maybe
scope.
15 on a
I mean,
character.
the
That's a
thing that
lot.
hurts the most is bag space. Like, oh my god, like I can't I can't have 25 shirts right now.
Yeah, well,
But
and
maybe
that's a lot of
if
it
Balance
too.
just have a bunch of them, like they can make all the BOE ones and you could just put them on a bank alt and then just send them over
I
right
have
when
a
that
bunch of shirts on my bank alt right now. But I definitely need that title. Hopefully, when I get back all of my gear rewards for quests that I completed, there'll be 25 bracers
Yeah.
from that. That would be great. There was also a bunch of new spell animations, which Wowhead has been covering in videos. This week, a video came out for Frost Mage, which not a lot was new except for the spell Glacial Spike. Assassination Rogues, which got Hemo.
Hemorrhage and Venom. There's
Hemorrhage.
a lot of stuff, but I think those two were the coolest. Like Melee, I think have more updates so far than most casters. We've been trying to alternate them, and
Yeah.
more people seem excited by the Melee updates just because their generic swing looks different. So like every ability feels like it's modified in some
Oh
form.
no,
But
that's
yeah,
super cool. I mean, every spell already had its own animation, so I'm glad that they're updating melee animations so that they
yeah,
get
and
to
I like
feel a
the
little
Rogue
more
one
different.
too. Like Rogues are kind of plain, but now for like what in Venom with an artifact trait, you actually throw a vial of poison on the ground, and then your ground is all gooey and
That's great.
it has this really violent effect where you like you thrust your blades into the target dummy and then it takes effort to pull them out.
Oh, that's
And so,
neat.
yeah. So yeah, I was pretty happy with seeing Assassination Rogues. I wasn't super thrilled with Frost Mage, but I liked Assassination Rogues better.
Yeah, Frost DK's also got some updated animations, lots of updated animations.
Yeah. They were cool.
Shadow Priest got their new Void form.
Yeah, I know people are actually more excited about that now because of the Hearthstone expansion, which we'll get to at the end of the show, but you know, Shadow Priests are influenced by the old gods, and old gods are the theme of the Hearthstone expansion, so now people are like, oh well, like
Yay!
see all the tentacle abilities and
This is relevant.
stuff.
Here, you
Yep.
talk about that for 2 seconds. I'm gonna let this cat out.
Alright. So, yeah, so while Frost Death Knight got a ton of new animations,
No.
the Windwalker monks, on the other hand, did not have a ton of animations, but they do have one for Fist of Fury, which looks pretty cool. And finally, we did another rogue one on Outlaw Rogues, and it's a spec that, you know, is a pretty significant revamp of combat, and a lot of the abilities were totally new. They had a lot of abilities that had like a pirate or a swashbuckler theme, and ones that really stood out were pistol shot because you actually fire a pistol. And roll the bones, you have like a little skull above your head and a bunch of dice around you, but pretty much everything is changed for Outlaw spec, and it looks really cool. Like every ability has some sort of golden flash next to it, and even things just even like cheap shot I think is a little bit different as well, really basic stuff. So yeah, the new not sure what we'll do next. If people want to suggest a spec to do, let us know. There's some that we think are kind of incomplete, so we're trying not to do anything we think will be changed too much. But yeah, if one of the specs we did do has changed a lot when things go live, we will definitely redo it and show you the more updated animations.
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry.
You want to talk about Dalaran?
Sure. Dalaran has gotten some additional updates. As you guys know, Dalaran is the new main city in Legion. Well, the new old, the revamped main city in Legion. And there's a lot of changes that are being made almost every single alpha build, and this one is no different. There are now NPCs that will make comments about your artifacts, which is very, like, personable and cute. Did you have any experiences with that when you played on the alpha?
So I don't think they're in for every spec, but for Outlaw Rogues, I had this troll pirate in the coffee shop being like, oh, wow, you know, like that curse can get a lot of people, you know, the sea blades. And then for Fire Mage, it was slightly more involved. An elven blacksmith wanted to see the weapon and was talking about how, like, he wanted to inspect it. He's never seen something with such amazing craftsmanship, and actually when he holds it, there's this big fire animation and everyone thinks that he's burning the blacksmithing shop down. But it's kind of a cute dialogue, and then he
That's really
gives 50,
cute.
he gives you 50 artifact power when he finishes inspecting it, so that's pretty neat.
Oh, that is neat. Also, we found Pepe again.
Yay,
This time he
Pepe.
is in a still life painting in Dalaran, just kind of hiding in there behind the pears.
Yep,
Very cute.
he likes
And
being everywhere. He's actually in a bunch of buildings. The clothing shop in Dalaran is now more of like a fine art, high-end boutique, and the ground floor is all paintings. So there's a lot of funny paintings there. And in one of the stores that was kind of boring looking, they added a bunch of curios from around the world,
mhm.
and there are two more Pepe paintings there. So I know all the locations of the Pepe
Of
paintings.
course you do. Well, hopefully we'll see Pepe come along in Legion as well, so that maybe there'll be another achievement. I don't know. I think that Pepe was one of the best things to come out of Warlords of Draenor, so I hope that they decide to keep him around in more ways than just art.
Yep.
I love my little Deadpool Pepe hat. So cute.
I know. Pepe's like, I want to be more in Legion.
There's
So yes. Go, yeah, no, you can go ahead. Yeah.
oh, it's. I was just gonna say, there's also now a broken wall in Dalaran that looks over an island with a tree. Have they corrected the 2 Dalaran bug yet? Have they fixed
Yeah,
that?
that has been fixed. They just removed the pet tournament though, and they just have these islands with trees there now. So that's a little strange. I want the pet
Yeah,
tournament.
I'm sure
But yeah,
they'll bring it
it's like a
back. I
tiny
don't know.
island, and the lake takes up most of it. So I'm just like, I don't know if this actually works. Having
Yeah.
a island that's just basically a lake. Maybe it's some elaborate swimming pool.
Yeah,
I
they
don't.
also replaced the Silver Covenant guards with Gilnean guards in the Alliance Quarter.
Yeah, a few weeks ago we talked about how they made updates to the Horde part of the city with like all these plague trucks and then undercity guards. Um, and they went ahead and did that equivalent for the Alliance area. So, I mean, that makes sense, keeps with the flavor of what they're trying to get at. Sylvanas and Greymane have a lot
Yeah,
of touches in Legion, so it's sort of symbolic that they're guarding the two areas in Dalaran now.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that's always nice too, because I feel like Worgen are a really underrepresented
Yeah.
uh,
It's kind of good to see
race.
them fighting back, like their starting zone, like you can't even really interact with their city.
Yeah.
Um, so it's nice that they're getting like more of a personality and a presence, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a bunch of new 3D models that came with this alpha build as well. I'm going to
Yep.
show you my favorite one in a minute,
All
but
right.
there was a hippogriff mount, which we've seen before, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a recolor of the existing ones, but it's a really cool, pretty purple color, so
Mm-hmm.
people still want it, and the name of it implies that it's the long forgotten hippogriff mount, and people are like, "Oh, is that like time lost proto Drake?" And we don't know where
Oh.
to get it, but it just says it's from Azuna, which is not open on the alpha right now.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Either way, it's interesting.
Yep.
There was also the Demonology Warlock. The main hand now has some additional colors that we didn't see last week. Um, what is
There's
what?
a what there's a weapon model called Artifact Magnar,
Mm-hmm.
and um, they have it's a mix of models. We think it's used for the tanks maybe, and it sort of has like some of them have a very Tauran feel, some of them feel very earthy, a lot of browns and horns. So we're not sure where they're from quite yet, but the official name in the data is Artifact Magnar, so we're
Hmm.
going with that. And we also have a staff called the Sheep Stick Staff, which is a head of a sheep on the top. And again, not sure where that's going to be from. Maybe it's a crazy mage item, maybe it's a joke. I'm not sure, but it looks really funny.
Yeah, well, that's all very. Both of those things are kind of confusing because they had said they were just putting artifacts in this expansion. There wouldn't be any additional weapons. So it's like, are they just vanity weapons? Are they, artifact appearances for artifacts that are already in the
Are
game?
there like more things like the fishing pole that's the
Yeah,
Murloc? Like do tailors get sheep or I don't know, like
yeah.
blacksmiths get the Magnar? I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? But my favorite model that came this week
So
was the baby deer. It is so cute. It's unreasonable. And I think there's 4 different colors so far.
yeah, it is super cute.
It's really, really, really cute. When I saw this, I like made unhuman noises.
And we got a stag and a doe model last week, so we have a happy family now of updated models.
These better be battle pets.
I know, it would be so cute.
I know. Even though, like, I'm pretty sure the battle pets that are in the game right now that are deer-like can't actually battle. Like the gazelle.
Yeah. I think it's like too big, but I'm sure that if Blizzard is making more and they want it to be a pet, they'll, that's maybe that's why it's a baby one now. Like,
Oh,
oh, it moved. It's a
so cute. So cute. There's also
there's
a new Kodo mount.
Yeah, they updated the existing models and they've been going through and updating like the Kodos that now have the bags on the side and then like the plain Kodos and the ones that just have the saddle. So one of the Kodo variations also got an update in this patch.
Cool. Then there were also, oh, scrolling up, scrolling down. Oh, I don't want to talk about this. I mean,
Do you want to talk about the movie first? Or, I mean,
no,
we
we'll
can
just get it out of the way. So, like, super
All right.
bummer news that we found out yesterday is that Zarim is no longer with Blizzard. He was the CM that started working at Blizzard in, like, 2005. Like, he's been around for, like, 10, 11 years. And he was pretty much the main contact for fan sites, streamers, YouTubers, stuff like that.
Yeah, we were both in contact with him
Yeah.
for a lot of things, even like our separate projects. So, yeah, he set up a lot of cool things for us, like, beta keys or, like the Chronicle book we got sent. He was behind all of that cool stuff.
Yeah, he
So-
was super cool. We got the announcement late Thursday night. They haven't officially blue posted it yet. I'm not sure if maybe they're waiting until the beginning of next week or if that's just something they're not doing anymore. I don't know. But I know that he was very well liked and he often came and hung out in our Twitch chat and stuff like that. So I know that he'll be very sorely missed and I'm sad.
Yeah, I am sad as well. Like, I mean, he's, 11 years is a really long time for
Yeah.
WoW. It's nearly as old as the game. And it was cool how he, sort of started just being a moderator in customer service and then grew into more of a community role and then was managing, interacting with so many people and doing, fun stuff with merchandise or, like I said, beta keys or just, BlizzCon, making sure everyone had their interviews or special setups. So, and he also did those Legion class blogs, which I thought were really interesting because Blizzard usually would just rely on a bunch of patch notes, or there would be the unofficial data mining that sites like Wowhead do, but they never really did like in-depth class previews explaining like why there were new talents and what changed and like a philosophy of each fantasy. And he worked with the developers to come up with a series of blogs, and that was right after BlizzCon, so I can't imagine working on BlizzCon and also writing every single blog and editing it. Like, that is just a ridiculous amount of work going on with that.
Yeah.
But in happier news, you can find him if you want to pay tribute or find him in game. There's a Ghostly Skull battle pet, which has the appearance of his form avatar. There is Timble's focusing crystal, which is a trinket, and Timble was one of his old forum names. And there is the Timeless Isle achievement Zarm all together. So if you're feeling nostalgic, you can get your little Ghostly Skull pet out and name it after him, or, go do the achievement.
Yeah, and if you do want to keep up with what he's doing in the future, his personal Twitter is Talking Congas. So feel free to follow him there. But I know a lot of people are like really bummed about it. I'm really bummed about it. And we're going to talk about the Warcraft movie next, but it's funny because Zarim is actually the one who organized that press tour of the Warcraft movie that I was able to go to.
Yeah.
So I feel crappy talking about this now as well. Double crappy because Legendary lost all of our pictures.
Yeah.
So, but we are learning a lot more about the Warcraft movie lately. Duncan Jones was tweeting that he now actually has permission from Legendary to share more behind-the-scenes pictures, which is very cool.
Yeah, we got this really funny close-up of a Kobold tweet, take candle, and the sign was super in-depth and had, interesting art and custom fonts on it, and that was really popular on Twitter. So, I also like the one of the Stormwind set now. I'm not sure if you saw this tweet, but, like, was that,
I saw the set.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I can finally see that. And it looked really cool. Like, I mean, it was actually, like, a street, and sure, the buildings weren't tall, it was CGI, but, like, the actual ground was, like,
when you were
a
in
castle with rocks, and I liked how there was all the gardens. Like, I mean, it's so, like, Stormwind has so much greenery. I love that.
They also had, like, when I was there, like, you see in the pictures, you see the big green screen, but but the city was like life size. Like all the
Yeah.
buildings were life size, and like the warboard and the mailbox. So the mailbox was like as big as me, and I'm like 5'8". Like I'm a pretty tall girl, and the mailbox was like almost the same size as me, and the warboard was taller than me, and you could barely even saw the green screen because everything around you was so big, and the streets were wide too. Like if they were the equivalent of like 4 lanes for cars. I mean, they were really, really big and really wide. And from what I saw when I was there, I mean, they had easily 100 people like on the set. Like
Yeah.
I saw a part of the filming where there was like a fight going on. And it was crazy because there were like explosions and people rolling all over the place. And like there was still so much space. Like whoever was in charge of building that, I mean, it was absolutely huge. It was massive. I think that's like the one and only picture that I have because there was like one picture that was recovered from Lord only knows where, but it was when we were standing on the set of Stormwind, but it's kind of like a candid. It's not like you can really see anything, but
Yeah.
it was.
I still think you should keep asking. Like that's really sad that
I
they
have.
made it.
I'm pretty sure Blizzard has muted me as far as emails. I'm gonna send emails. I'm pretty sure I'm muted because I'm like, hey, any update on this? I mean, I know you said no last week, but how about this week though? It's a new week.
Yeah.
And the person who actually did all the photography while I was there was Duncan Jones's wife. She's a photographer, and she took all the pictures, and she was so nice. And when the NDA first lifted and I hadn't been given any pictures, I like immediately tweeted her and was like, hi, I'm sure you don't remember me, but we met, you know, at the Warcraft movie set, and you had taken a bunch of pictures for our group. I was with Rolling Stone and stuff. Do you know anything about this? She was like, oh yeah, I gave all the pictures on a hard drive to Legendary. So she doesn't even have backups or anything. So I'm hoping that somewhere it'll turn up, because it's a separate hard drive. So I mean, I'm sure it just got put somewhere and it'll come up. But we got to visit like the prop trailer and stuff too.
Yeah, that would be so cool. I would love to see the weapons from that.
Yeah, they were
comparing
huge,
to what they look like in game as well.
Yeah, we all got to pick one and take a picture like holding one, and of course like I picked Doomhammer because it's me. But they were all really, really, really cool. And it's funny because there was one part of the trailer that you see where they put, I assume it's baby Thrall, like in a little basket, and then they push him down the river. And even though we got to visit the set, we weren't allowed to know most of what happened in the movie. And
I see.
When we went and visited the prop trailer, they had a little green CGI orc model doll in that basket. And I was like, is that baby Thrall? And like, I turned around, and when I came back, 2 PAs were taking it away. Like,
oh no,
they were like, she knows too much.
She
knows too much, and they actually took it away. So I thought that was really funny that like most of the people that were there were like regular press that didn't really play World of Warcraft. They didn't know anything about it, and I was like, oh, is that baby Thrall? And like got distracted for 30 seconds, and they're like, get him out of here. Get the baby orc out of here.
She knows too much.
She knows too much. It was really funny. But also, on the note of the Warcraft movie, is that we've talked a little bit about the Funko Pops. We showed you guys the Lothar and the Garona, but now we know that there are at least 5 Funko Pops coming. Yeah. This is the Garona. Cool. She's so great. This, of course, is Orgrim. And Duratan. He looks awesome. And King Lane. And Lothar. I think there's going to be one more, too. Like, I know that they announced in the blog that there's 5, but generally there are
maybe
5.
There'll be one just from the Blizzard shop, maybe?
Yeah, I know that they just did, and we'll talk about this in a second, but, like, I know they just did, they're doing an Overwatch line as well, and they had revealed 4 initially, and then, like, a couple weeks later, GameStop revealed that they have an exclusive Overwatch one. So if I had to guess, another retailer, like I know Target sometimes does exclusives, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, there's a bunch. I have a feeling another retailer will come out and have an exclusive, whether it's the Warcraft or the Overwatch one, because usually they're 6, not 5. There's also going to be a set of at least 5 of the Dorbs figures, which are kind of more round and chibi-ish and very cute.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a mystery mini set of 12, which included some really cool figures. Like I saw Gul'dan and Medivh.
Yeah, there's 2 of Garona.
Yeah, 2 different variants.
And a different, armor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that will be in the Blizzard store too. Yeah, all 3 sets are coming in April.
Super excited.
And, also one more movie thing is that Duncan Jones, people are like, oh, when will there be another commercial? It's been a while. And he's made a few tweets that make it pretty clear that He thinks that there's going to be one coming in March, and we're halfway through March, so that means we've got this 2 week window if what he's saying, is accurate.
Well, there was I saw the Warcraft movie trailer before Deadpool. I also saw the Warcraft movie trailer before, I just went and saw it, Gods of Egypt. It was there too, so I'm thinking that it'll probably be accompanying like a big March release, which would be, it could be like 10 Cloverfield Lane, it could be Batman vs. Superman. Does that come out this month?
I'm not good with movies.
I think it comes out at the end of this month, so it could be that. And I know there's another bigger movie coming out this month too. Civil War doesn't come out for a couple months, so I don't think Civil War's coming out
I'm wondering
soon.
if there's any like sports thing, if it's a commercial, if they'll introduce it in the middle of the game like they did.
Sports things right now? Football.
Oh no, we're even worse with sports.
Yeah, we're trying here, guys.
Yeah.
Sports ball. I don't think there's any sports ball things going on. But I feel like it's probably, I think Batman vs. Superman comes out at the end of this month, and I bet that's where it'll debut. Because I know Legendary owns the Batman franchise. Like, they do all the Batman franchises, because the last Batman movie they did was, like, crazy money. So Legendary definitely has rights to that as far as, like, production, so I bet that's what it'll be before. And I'm going to see that, so I'll let you know how it is.
Remember, we were like, it's going to come before Jurassic Park, it will come before this other movie, and it's just...
I know. Someone in chat was like, I love you guys, but stay away from sports. I mean, that's fair enough. I can't argue that. But I will talk about Overwatch, which I know isn't technically WoW news, but...
There hasn't been a lot of WoW news, because there's been 2 other games that have a lot of news, so Blizzard's probably trying to balance things out. So we figured we'd talk about them, because, we talk about the merchandise, and we play other games, so... Yeah, you get like WoW things when you play other games.
Do you see on our notes you had wrote something about the 3rd, and I changed it to the 5th, but I didn't get rid of, so it says 3rd. Like, that's not a word. Anyways, Overwatch.
You can talk about that.
We found out this week that Overwatch will be officially hitting live servers May 24th, and that is for all the platforms that it's going to be on, meaning PC as well as Xbox One and PS4. There's no news as of right now for any sort of Mac client, so I hope that you have one of those consoles or PC so that you can play. Open beta will begin on May 5th through May 9th. Open beta is open beta. You do not need a pre-order. You don't need anything. You can just go in, try out the game, and that will be on all consoles and PC. Now, the open beta has an early access period on May 3rd and 4th that as long as you pre-purchase before April 29th, you'll have 2 extra days of open beta, and you'll get to bring a friend with you whether they pre-purchased or not, which is very cool. Plus, on top of getting early access to the open beta, you also get the Widowmaker Noir skin, which is, I mean, great.
I like her. Yeah.
I really don't. I'm like, I get so mad at every sniper in the world. Like, just play a
I like how she looks, though. I think
she looks awesome.
Yeah.
Widowmaker here. She looks awesome. It's just the problem is everybody wants to play Widowmaker, but only about 1 in 10 Widowmakers are competent. Like a sniper in any game, really. But there's also the Overwatch Origins editions, which will give you 5 additional skins. I believe it's 5. It includes the Blackwater Reyes Reaper skin, the Soldier 76, like his young version of his skin. There's the Overgrown Bastion skin. There's Slipstream's Tracer skin. I feel like there's one more, but
Symmetra?
Is it some? No, it's
I thought it was like no.
No, it's not Symmetra, because Symmetra's like pre-Overwatch skin is available in game now. I just got it, Vishkar.
All right.
I'm pretty sure there's
a security guard.
Oh, it's Zara. No, Farah. It's Farah.
Yeah.
Farah has the last skin as well. And then you can also get stuff in other games too, like you'll unlock Tracer in Heroes of the Storm, which I looked up a little bit on that, and Tracer will have a blink in Heroes of the Storm, which is so cool. Like, she's going to be very true to the abilities that she has in Overwatch, which I'm ridiculously excited for. So you'll unlock Tracer, you'll also unlock Mercy Wings in Diablo, and a baby Winston pet in WoW. I think there's a Hearthstone card back, typical Blizzard stuff. If you get the actual physical collector's edition, you'll get all of those things, plus a Soldier 76 statue. And speaking of Soldier 76, we talked about the Overwatch pops that are coming out last week. There's the supersized Winston, along with Widowmaker, Reaper, and Tracer, and then GameStop announced this week that they have an exclusive Soldier 76. I think there's going to be one more. If I had to guess,
I love a diva. Yeah.
Diva, I think it would be Mercy. I feel like Mercy is very much like there's not a healer in that group of.
I think I just want a mystery mini series of all of them.
Yes.
So that way I don't have
Please.
to choose.
I just want all of them. Yeah, no, but I would really love to see a Mercy one. She's probably my favorite. No, I say that, but I play a lot of other heroes too. I actually think I play Roadhog the most, which is a lot of irony because he's like the big chunky guy with the
I know, I'm like,
outie belly button. Doesn't really make much sense for me. But I am very excited about Overwatch. I play quite a bit. I'm very close to getting my wings. At level 50, you get like wings around your border. And I'm like 49 3/4. So yeah, big fan. Yeah, there is a Winston pet for WoW. I think I said that. I might not have said that though.
Yeah,
it's
he has
a little baby Winston. He has little glasses, so cute.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about Hearthstone?
Yeah, so earlier today, Whispers of the Old God was revealed, and some people knew about it in advance because apparently Blizzard was doing this really cool wall art in a major city. I think it was Brooklyn, and the wall art was like it was only painted in to have the logo, but not the actual tentacles yet. And someone took a picture and was like, "Oh, what is this?" So,
what is going on?
If you're doing paintings in the future, do not paint the logo first.
Paint the logo last.
But yeah, so today there was a live stream big announcement where they revealed Whispers of the Old Gods, and it's it's neat how like they've hit up pretty much every vanilla classic WoW raid. So we had like the Blackrock Mountain, we've had Nax Ramis, which is tier 3, and now we're going into Anchorage, which had the Old Gods in it. So in WoW, we fought 3 of the Old Gods, and the 4th has just been hinted at, and those 4 gods are going to be, 4 important cards in the expansion. And I really like the trailer because it takes normal cards and it corrupts them, and the trailer would show like a frog, and then the frog all of a sudden spits out tentacles, or you see Stormwind, and then suddenly this cloud goes over Stormwind, and you see tentacles in the background for that as well. So we have 6 cards so far. Hearthhead was invited to a special press event earlier this week, so they have a summary of what went on at the event. And they were able to play some decks. We have the 6 revealed cards in our deck builder already. You get a really cool Cthulhu card back if you pre-order. And yeah, one thing I noticed, I'll probably write an article for Hearthhead, is just sort of explaining how the old gods, like where you can find them in WoW, and just some fun speculation on how the logo for Whispers of the Old Gods has similarities to the Darkmoon Faire archway.
It does.
And what does that mean? Like, is the Darkmoon Faire run by the old gods? Are they trying to distract us? Like, the Darkmoon Faire is just kind of creepy in the middle of the Maelstrom. What is going on with that? But yeah, I look forward to writing about that. And yeah, Hearthhead is our sister site. They have everything for Hearthstone news and cards and decks, so check out their coverage.
Yeah. If you want to know about Overwatch, Overking is Wowhead's brother, sister, sibling.
Yeah, we revamped the layout, so I guess it's more of a cousin now.
It's so sick. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Overwatch at all, but Tracer has like this Iron Man thing in the middle of her chest that kind of rotates and glows, and the background of Overking has the glowing, rotating Tracer chest piece. And it's all like blue and yellow, but not Alliance blue and yellow, cool blue and yellow.
Yeah.
It's the site is really, really sharp looking, so it looks really great right now. On to merchandise.
Yep.
We have a new, I'll show you the graphic in just a second, but we have a new code this month that'll work through the end of the month.
Yeah.
Oh.
Needs to make noise.
Do it.
Well, it kind of works. You can get this on sale.
Yeah, our code is Wowhead P15. That's P like plushie. It'll give you 15% off any plushie in the Blizzard store, which does include things like the Abathur hat and the Zerg plushie, as well as the little talking probe, Pepe, and also the plushies that have in-game perks, like Stitches comes with the Bikini Stitches and Heroes of the Storm. The Griffin and Wyvern come with pets in World of Warcraft. So now is a great time to stock up on plushies. When we got this code, just to make sure it worked for science, I bought these 2 guys. I bought the little Carbot animation Zergling, and I bought the Sprite Zarder Hatchling, who is super articulated. Like, her little wings, her tail, her ears, her fin, all of that has like metal pieces in it, so you can pose her however you'd like.
Yeah.
I have the little Carbot animation Zergling eating her wing. I don't know if you can see that.
Last week I also previewed. Oh, I should not hold this. Last week I also previewed the Abathur hat, which it's a plush, but it's also on sale because it's an actual hat on your head. And there are also Zergling slippers. And this thing is one of the StarCraft plushies, and I think it originated from Blizzard China, which is not. Sometimes they have different merchandise in the gear store. So this is one of the imports. So it's pretty cool. It has like batteries. It periodically makes noise. It's sensitive to some sort of motion. And yeah, if you like StarCraft or you want to get scared by plushies making noises, this is a good purchase.
That was great timing.
I know.
That was great timing. So he's really, really cute. I think my favorite of the StarCraft animations is this little Zergling guy. He's so cute. And I don't know what Blizzard makes their plushies out of, but they are so soft.
I know.
The Carbot animation reminds me of stuff that like baby plushies are made out of, like plushies for babies. It's like almost like a really soft like terry cloth or something. I don't know. They're so cute. And our hats for our Pepes are made by Precious Mage on Twitter. Spelled phonetically. If you're in chat, she's in chat right now, and you can see how her name is spelled. She makes those hats for Pepe, and
I
so
have
cute.
a Pepe idea. There should be an old god Pepe hat.
Oh my god, with little tentacles everywhere.
It could be like purple and black,
like
and there
Yogg
could be, like,
Saran,
yes,
Yogg
you can
Sir
have
Pepe.
little like tentacle pointy things. That would be cute.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Get on it, Precious.
Get on it.
Get on it. And also, I'll show you the graphic now because I've got two things on one graphic. We have partnered up once again with Jinx to bring you guys a code this month to celebrate the big Hearthstone announcement. It is 25% off all Hearthstone products with code Wowhead. And then again at the Blizzard Gear Shop, you can use code WowheadP15 to get 15% off of all plushies and plushie-related merchandise. So if you guys remember last week, I gave away a Hearthstone hoodie. Anything Hearthstone on Jinx is covered, and 25% is a big discount. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely now's a good time to get it. And what's nice is that a lot of the Hearthstone merchandise is very crossover from WoW, so it could very easily be a WoW shirt.
Yeah, they have a lot of new items as well.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they're a lot more creative than your starter usual, like Alliance and Horde stuff. Like, there's a knife juggler, sure, there's a You-Face Jaraxxus one, there's a Dr. Boom one, there's an Evil Heckler one, and those are all pretty new, I think. They come in both styles for both men and women. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a couple new hoodies too. They've got the brown one that I gave away last week, as well as this like premium chat jacket that's like navy blue. So if you're
Worthy
interested,
opponent. Yeah.
Yep. If you're interested in any of that, it's at jinx.com. Again, the code is Wowhead to get 25% off all Hearthstone merchandise. And if you go to the Blizzard Gear Shop, it's code WowheadP15 for 15% off of any plushies. Last up to date is we're going to show you some more of the Warcraft Chronicles. I think Perk has a spot earmarked that she's going to read about the old gods.
Second.
And while she does that, I have a slideshow of things that you can see. It's a 21-page preview by IGN of the Warcraft Chronicles. So I'll pop that on. Are you ready, Perk?
Yeah, I'm good. Is this a good position? Like, I'm not hitting
I don't
stuff.
hear you hitting anything.
Okay, so I'm going to read about how the Night Elves tried to eradicate Saronite, and instead they awakened Yogg Saron.
Good job, Night Elves.
Yeah.
Close. Nailed it.
Yeah. When the Sundering tore through Azeroth, the tectonic devastation rattled the captive old gods and weakened their keeper-wrought prisons. The apocalyptic event also stirred the malign entities to new degrees of deadly awareness. Over the millennia that followed, great tendrils of corruption spilled from the old gods' damaged prisons and gradually seeped to the world's surface. Northrend, where Yogg Saron was imprisoned, saw some of the most severe effects. Festering blooms of a strange new mineral, Saronite, spread throughout the crust of the land and sapped the life of native flora and fauna. Upon discovering Saronite, a small group of druids from the Cenarian Circle decided to eradicate it. They reasoned that if the life-giving energies of the World Tree could heal the lands around Mount Hyjal, another great tree could do the same in Northrend. The group's leader, Fandral Staghelm, soon became obsessed with the idea. Some druids advised him to seek the guidance of the dragon aspects. Their knowledge and blessings had allowed Nordrassil to flourish. Without them, planting another great tree could have unforeseen consequences. Yet Staghelm believed there was no time to wait. Saronite was spreading unchecked throughout Northrend and even in other parts of the world. Rather than waste time in endless debates, Staghelm moved to act, without consulting the aspects or the rest of the Cenarian Circle. Fandral and his closest followers secretly cut 6 enchanted branches from the boughs of Nordrassil. With the branches in hand, they traveled the world to locations where Saronite blooms had sprung to life. One by one, the druids planted the branches in these regions, hoping to thwart the corruption. The areas where Fandral and his allies left their marks included Ashenvale, Crystal Song Forest, Faralis, and 2 remote regions in the Eastern Kingdoms that would later be known as Duskwood and the Hinterlands. The branches quickly took root and became new trees. Together they acted like conduits, channeling the powers of the Emerald Dream into the waking world, strengthening the nearby wildlife, and scouring the Saronite deposits. Heartened by their success, the druids planted the last and greatest of the branches in the mountains of Northrend, over the largest growth of Saronite. This new world tree, named Andrasil, or Crown of the Snow, grew with astonishing speed, and the benefits were almost immediate. The spread of Saronite ceased, and wildlife flourished anew. Malfurion and the rest of the Cenarian Circle became furious upon learning that these branches had been planted without their approval. They did, however, agree that the plan seemed to have worked. For decades, Andrasil towered over Northrend, and all seemed well. Yet in time, circumstances changed. Bloody battles erupted between the Tonka and the forest nymphs of Northrend, 2 races not known for their warring ways. The fighting was sudden and shockingly vicious, filled with barbarism and unspeakably vile acts. Word slowly reached the Druids, and the Cenarian Circle launched an expedition to investigate the source of the violence. What the Druids found chilled them to their marrow. Andrasil's roots had reached so deep into the earth that they had touched Yogg-Saron's subterranean prison. The old god had infused the tree with its foul energies, and thus all living creatures in the area were slowly being driven to madness. The Cenarian Circle knew that without the blessings of the aspects, Andrasil was vulnerable to corruption. They were also aware that there was no way to spare the world tree or ease its suffering. The Cenarian Circle sorrowfully decided that the only recourse was to destroy Andrasil. With heavy hearts, they felled the great tree, and it slammed down onto the icy surface of Northrend, with a deafening boom that echoed even through the ethereal forest of the Emerald Dream. Forever after, the Druids would refer to the fallen world tree as Vordrasil, or Broken Crown. Although killing Andrasil had been a heartbreaking task, the Cenarian Circle was pleased it had stopped the growth of Saronite. Yet unbeknownst to the Druids, something dark had taken root in the Emerald Dream. Yogg-Saron had used the trees planted by Fandral as a doorway into the dream, a doorway through which the other old gods could grasp the ethereal domain as well. Small seeds of corruption were spread throughout Ysera's realm. In time, these seeds polluted the Dreamways. This marked the beginning of what would become known as the Emerald Nightmare. So, yeah, there is a lot more about that in the book. That's just one page of the book, and that can explain maybe what's going on with Northrend and the Emerald Dreamway portals, and even some backstory for Legion, because one of the raids in Legion, the first raid, is the Emerald Nightmare.
Yes. I'm excited about that. I'm also very sorry to everybody who is listening. My dog, you might have heard some dog snores in the background.
Oh, he was not interested in the old gods.
Listen, she's 13 years old. She's awake for about 20 minutes a day, so it's not your fault. Yeah. No, it's sort of like the World of Warcraft Chronicle book reminds me of a picture book for adults.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it.
Because it's very story dense. It's not like it's just pictures with captions, but there's also very beautiful illustrations every couple pages.
Yeah, it's good pacing.
Yeah, even the pages that are all text have really cool like borders and nice font, and it's a very aesthetically pleasing book, and if you're interested in lore at all, I would definitely recommend picking it up. I linked it in the chat for those of you guys who are interested. The Kindle version is like $22, and the hardcover version, if you pre-order it, is only like $24. So if you want it, I would pre-order it because it's going to be more expensive in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and we can't, it's trickier to talk about another book coming out, but we'll try to do it in the upcoming shows. But Illidan World of Warcraft goes live on April 12th,
Mm-hmm.
and it's $27, and you can pre-order it on Amazon for 7.34, and that's actually a better deal than Kindle. Kindle is $14.
Yeah, right.
So,
We
yeah.
also saw me and Perk. We were looking at the Illidan book and the World of Warcraft Chronicle book, and in the process, we actually saw that the Warcraft movie has got some novel. There's like
Yeah.
Christy Golden did a novelization of
Yeah.
the
We bought
Warcraft
together.
movie, and they also did a novelization of a Warcraft
Yeah.
movie prequel that's titled
Yeah.
Duratan. So if you want to get caught up on what's going to happen in the Warcraft movie or what you might need to know going into it, the Kindle editions of those books are only like $8, and they're written
Yeah.
by Christy Golden, which I would say is one of the favored
Yeah,
authors
I would
of
agree.
the World of Warcraft novels. So I like stumbled across those the other day. I'm like, Perk, have you seen
Yeah.
these?
Yeah, they launch in May, so we'll remind you closer to launch about that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool how there's like a whole line of books and they're trying to, emphasize that more so people can fill in all the gaps because no one wants to read a quest that's just like a wall of text explaining everything. But I think it's cool if you have like a picture book that has cool illustrations
Oh,
and fonts. It
absolutely.
makes you feel like you're reading a book that could actually be in World of Warcraft, like a very ornate
Absolutely.
spell book.
Yeah,
Um,
I
so yeah,
agree.
before we wrap this up, I just wanted to do another plug for GCD TV. We're sponsoring their European Pro League spring season, and they've had two tournaments so far, and their third takes place tomorrow, March 12th, at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. Central, and concludes on Sunday, March 13th. And you can find them at Twitch TV/GCD TV, or
Mm-hmm.
you can follow them on Twitter at GCDTV with an underslash, and they post a lot of updates there, like, animated, like, pictures of, like, interesting plays. And they were recently featured in the Community Spotlight, which was pretty
Yeah.
cool as well. And they've been promoting our PvP talent calculator a lot because, with Legion PvP ROMs now open, everyone who's in the tournaments is super interested in what the honor system is like and what all the
Yeah.
abilities are. So, yeah, if you're interested in WoW esports, definitely check that out. And yeah, anything else to bring up, or are we good?
No, I think we're good. I think we went
Okay,
over everything to talk about this week.
yep,
Um,
Pepe is happy.
yeah. Very quickly, I do want to thank everybody who subscribed today. I think we got like 3 or 4 new subscribers today, and everybody who follows us on both Twitch and YouTube. Wowhead. I'm sorry. I am like kind of out of it today. I don't know if anybody else lives
You
in
have
a
a really
place.
bad headache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like have been like I'm heavily medicated on Tylenol. Okay. Wowhead Weekly is every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific at twitch.tv/wowhead. Thanks again to everybody who subscribed to us. If you can't catch the show live, it is uploaded to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wowhead, and embedded at wowhead.com, usually on Saturday mornings. A big thanks to everybody who subscribes to Wowhead Premium, which is a premium version of Wowhead that gives you a different color when you talk in the comment section. It allows you to customize today in Draenor, and best of all, it removes all ads from the site. So we are going to go. I hope that you guys all
Yep.
have a great weekend, and we will see you here next week, same bad time, same bad channel.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.